The Life and Works of Michelangelo, a journey through the artistic legacy of an Italian Renaissance master. Michelangelo di Lodovico Bonoro di Simone, commonly known as Michelangelo, was a famous Italian Renaissance artist born on March 6, 1475, in Caprese, Italy. He was the second of 5 brothers and had a difficult childhood due to his father's financial struggles. Michelangelo's family had a tradition of banking, but he had a passion for art from an early age. Michelangelo, 13 Jacinda, Zamanin und Gelen Ressemlerinden Domenico Ghirlandaionon Adalizinde Sirac Oldu. He learned the basics of painting and drawing but soon became interested in sculpture. In 1496, Michelangelo moved to Rome, where he created his first important work, the Pietà, at the age of 24. Heikel, Carmija Geraldicton Sonra Isanine Cesadini Tutan Mariam Anai Tasvir Ediordu Ve Su Anda Aziz Petrus Basilikasinda Bula New York. Michelangelo's career took off after he returned to Florence in 1501 and was commissioned to create a statue of David. This work cemented his reputation as a master sculptor and led to other important commissions, such as the Sistine Chapel ceiling, which he completed between 1508 and 1512. The ceiling depicts scenes from the Book of Genesis and is considered one of the greatest works of art in history. In addition to his sculptures, Michelangelo was also an accomplished painter, poet, and architect. He designed the Laurentian Library in Florence, which is known for its innovative use of space and light. Michelangelo continued to work on various projects throughout his life, including the Last Judgment fresco in the Sistine Chapel and the Dome of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Michelangelo's personal life was often fraught with difficulty. He was known for his temper and perfectionist nature, which sometimes led to conflicts with his patrons and colleagues. He never married and was often lonely, but he had close friendships with several important figures of the time, including the poet Vittorio Colonna. Michelangelo died on February 18, 1564, at the age of 88. His legacy as one of the greatest artists in history has endured for centuries, and his works continue to inspire and captivate people all over the world. Here are some of Michelangelo's most important works. David. The statue of David is one of Michelangelo's most famous and iconic sculptures. Created between 1501 and 1504, the statue stands over 17 feet tall and depicts the biblical hero David in a moment of concentration and readiness. Sistine Chapel ceiling. Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel between 1508 and 1512. The ceiling depicts scenes from the Book of Genesis and is considered one of the greatest works of art in history. Pietà. The Pietà is a sculpture of the Virgin Mary holding the body of Jesus after the crucifixion. Created when Michelangelo was only 24 years old, it is considered a masterpiece of Renaissance sculpture. The Last Judgment. Painted on the altar wall of the Sistine Chapel, the Last Judgment depicts the second coming of Christ and the final judgment of humanity. It is considered one of Michelangelo's greatest works and was completed in 1541. Moses. The statue of Moses was commissioned by Pope Julius II for his tomb. The statue depicts Moses holding the 10 Commandments and is considered one of Michelangelo's most striking works. Laurentian Library. Michelangelo was also an accomplished architect and designed the Laurentian Library in Florence, Italy. Completed in 1571, the library is known for its innovative use of space and light. Michelangelo's life is full of interesting and fascinating stories from the art and literary world. Here are some of the unknown and notable stories about Michelangelo. He burned his first sculpture. In his early days as an apprentice, Michelangelo took a stone to make a sculpture but didn't like it enough, so he burned it. This incident is an example of Michelangelo's perfectionist and meticulous nature. He broke the nose of the David sculpture. The David sculpture is one of Michelangelo's most famous works. However, it is said that during the construction of the sculpture, an apprentice broke the nose of the David sculpture. Michelangelo's anger was so great that he chased the apprentice with a hammer. He redesigned the face of Mary in the Pietà. While making the Pietà, Michelangelo didn't like the face of Mary in its original form and wanted to redesign it. However, this was seen by many visitors, and he worked on the sculpture in front of them. He hid his own portrait in the Last Judgment in the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo hid his own portrait in the Last Judgment. His portrait is located under the scenes of hell and cannot be seen with the naked eye. He angered the Pope. While painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo refused to follow the Pope's suggestions and stuck to his own design. This incident demonstrates Michelangelo's personal freedom and independence. He studied anatomy. Michelangelo had a great curiosity and interest in human anatomy. Therefore, he made many anatomical studies by examining and depicting dead bodies. These studies helped him add realism and liveliness to his sculptures and paintings.